It should be illegal for jobs to not provide tools. I'm a mechanic and started a new job. My previous job provided all my tools. This new job claimed to buy my tools, however, all they provided was a day of drill bits and 2 pipe wrenches. I've already been forced to spend $200 in tools just to do the bare minimum of my job. And the list is getting longer. Why is it that a job expects you to do labor without giving you the ability to do so? I was instructed to dress professionally for an interview. When I arrived, the interviewer was wearing shorts and flip-flops. I'm currently unemployed and I have been going to interviews lately. Yesterday I went to an interview with the hiring manager and I was instructed on the phone, by who I believe to be HR, to dress up professionally for the interview, to wear a tie, shave and all of that. When I arrived there, the manager was wearing shorts and flip-flops. He seemed to be trying really hard to get me to accept the job, but only offered me an average salary and was surprised, and I wasn't thrilled when he told me the amount. He gave me a week to accept the offer. Honestly, I think I'll politely and respectfully decline it, probably on Monday. Urgently hiring is bull. This is mostly a small vent, so forgive me. I've applied to almost 60 jobs in my area, most of which are urgently hiring or need workers, and yet I cannot get a single call back. They haven't even called my references. I've never been fired, have 3 years of work in food and 2 years of work in retail. I'm applying for entry-level part-time positions at gyms, restaurants, and small businesses. I hate to be arrogant, but I'm literally the perfect employee for these places. I have all the experience they want and then some. Just today I was rejected from a desperately hiring target. It's so frustrating to have to waste 40 minutes of my life filling out repetitive forms only to be rejected for some unknown reason. Did I not provide enough references? Did I answer your 4th quiz incorrectly? Am I somehow unlikely, overqualified? I'll never fucking know because the hiring process is absolutely BS. A story about my mum. My mother is a retired teacher. She also claims to be a very loving Christian. But she also is a conservative Trump supporter that doesn't really align with what she claims her beliefs are. Anyway, she is in her mid-70s and a retired teacher. The other day, she called me complaining about how nobody wants to work. Her story went like this. On her way from her fully paid for condominium to her fully paid for lake house in New Hampshire, she was upset that she was unable to get a Starbucks coffee at the local rest area because they were short-staffed and had restricted hours. She went on for at least 15 minutes about how the service at restaurants and retail stores are terrible because nobody wants to work and how she has to yell and scream at the staff to get them to do their job the right way. After biting my tongue, I couldn't hold it any longer. I asked her if she thinks that anyone in this generation now would ever be able to say, after leaving my paid-off house to go to my paid-off summer home on the lake, I decided to stop at Starbucks. And I also asked her if she thinks yelling at the staff actually showed up to work at the restaurant or the retail store is going to make him work harder or make him quit, making him even more short-staffed. Honestly, I love my mother very much, but she is a effing blind hypocrite. Today I accidentally gave $200 plus of beer and I feel awful. I work for a small family brewery. I was asked to run the farmers market about a week ago because the normally employee who does it was needed elsewhere. I agreed and was asked to do a double shift. 7 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. then 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. Still agreed. Lug all the supplies to the farmers market in my own vehicle because I was not approved for the company van due to it being last minute. I was also never trained on what to do. I had co-workers that used to do the market years ago attempt to show me. Long story short, we use wireless card readers. Co-worker told me that they would work offline and the transactions would process after reconnecting. So at the market I follow the steps, charge customers the amount they swipe their card. It tells me to hit approve transaction, beeps like it's good to go and takes me back to the sales screen. Well, apparently this card reader was not set up for offline pay, but our main one for inside the brewery was, so all the transactions I thought processed did not. So about 200 or more in free beer was given away. I feel awful and stupid. I did notice a receipt did not print, but it does not always do so. And I thought it was weird the way it has me approve transaction, but I just feel so dumb like it's my fault. My manager has yet to say anything about this. I would have also used my personal phone's hotspot but thought offline payments would work and I only have 1 GB of data on my hotspot. It also sucks because the extra tip money I got from customers is also gone, not much, maybe $40 to $50. This whole situation sucks. I know it's not entirely my fault, but I feel awful and stupid. Luckily the comments clear up something from OP. You weren't given the right tools for the job. Don't feel bad and just learn for the future. Also, you were asked last minute to transport product and weren't given permission to use the van. That part is nuts to me unless it was otherwise needed for different tasks. Companies do have to equip their future leaders with the tools to succeed, but this thread all too often ignores the fact that some of us take pride in our workmanship, regardless of employer. Learning from this and getting better for your own growth is important without taking away from the fact that ops shouldn't bear the burden of this situation. My boomer, is quiet quitting. My is 63, yes, we're boomers but we're not those boomers. The other day they looked at me and said, I realized today that I was getting my work done really quickly, so I slowed down. I was so proud of them. Comment, I used to get my work done fast. So they gave me more work. I optimized to get it done fast. More work. Then when it slowed down, I got laid off. After a few months of unloading trucks at Walmart, I was done with that noise and went back to my old call center job, but they aren't getting the speed and optimization I used to have. They lost that with the layoff and lack of raises. Thinking of using some of my downtime to write a book rather than gaming between emails like I have been. WFH, so using my personal computer for the writing. If you're a boss, do us a favor and don't discuss politics or religion at work. I'm a firefighter and I feel my views are pretty centrist. But on the other hand, everyone at my department is very right-leaning. I'm fine with it until it gets to the point where my chief or lieutenant are ranting 5 to 10 times a day about either how Trump is going to save us all or how Pride Month is some type of demon ritual. The higher-ranking officers like my chief just constantly talk about their disdain with the country and other people, but the lower brass like my lieutenant get to talking very violently about gay people and it makes me super uncomfortable. I think it's because the chief talks about religion and his politics so they think it's okay. Sorry for the rant, it just sucks having to leave the room every time. My coworker called out on my scheduled day off. I work in production as a non-union lab supervisor. These are 12-hour shifts. For night shift, 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. It is only myself and my coworker due to short staffing. My coworker calls out on my scheduled day off, and I can't cover because I have plans. My manager tells me that if that's the case I have to put in PTO for that night. So, my coworker put in a vacation, sick day, so then I also had to. Does this even sound right? Legal? Edit. For clarity, I got this call at my desk on my work phone while I was still on the clock the night before. I was not out of work when this was brought to me. Question in the comments. I don't think so. It was an unpaid day off to begin with. Why would you need to submit PTO on an unpaid day off you already have? Reply from OP. My coworker had called off work for my scheduled day off, so then when my manager heard that, she revised the schedule to have me put in for that day, then called me. So, I guess they changed my hours without my prior consent, which is an issue all on its own, but because I was then technically on the schedule, they forced me to use PTO to have my normal days off. You were scheduled for a day off. Point blank. You were not going to be missing any work you were already assigned. You have no obligation to burn your likely already too small reserve of PTO to cover upper management's likely chronic lack of staffing. An inability to maintain staffing by upper management does not constitute an emergency for you. They created the problem, they can deal with it. Take your day off as scheduled, do not use PTO. If they take your PTO, file a claim of wage theft with the local and state Department of Labor. PTO is wages to be paid at employees' determination. Perspective irreversibly shifted. Ever since I returned from Europe, I can't shake how terrible American work culture is. When I was in Italy, I couldn't help but realize how Italians work to live and not live to work. I haven't been able to get over the feeling that I am wasting my life in a country where I am forced to work the majority of my life. Share your story in the comments, I would love to add them to a video.